Hello, everybody, and good afternoon. My name is Chris Donatelli, president of Donatelli Development, and it's my great honor to have everyone here today and welcome you to this brand new project, one that will include 376 new housing units and 20,000 square feet of new retail space right here in Ward 7, right here at the Minnesota Avenue Metro. And the project is almost complete. We have our first unit move-ins are going to occur around the 15th of April. And the amount of interest in the project has been overwhelming. We've had over 1,900 people that have come here to the site to inquire about the possibility of renting an affordable unit here at the Park 7 project. So we're very happy about that. There were so many people that were instrumental, really, in bringing the project about. Obviously, we're very, very happy to have Mayor Gray here. Let's give him a round of applause. You know, this project was not that easy. This project was one that we worked very closely with the Deputy Mayor's office, and I want to thank Victor Hoskins for being here. Thank you, Deputy Mayor Hoskins. Let's give him a round of applause, please. You know, it's a great site. We're very happy to be here at this location. We're right at the crossroads of Minnesota and Benning Roads. And as I mentioned before, we're right here at the Metro Station. All that being true, though, the project was one that was difficult to finance when we went out in the marketplace. The economy at the time, and we're going back now about 3 years, the economy was more difficult. The financing dollars were more difficult to come by for construction. And yet, with some hard work and a lot of coordination from a lot of people in this room, we were able to get this project done. I'm happy to say that we are on schedule, construction-wise, and I'd like to thank everyone from McCullough Construction that's here. Thank you, McCullough. I know Tom McCullough's here. Actually, I don't see any of them. I think they're out there working somewhere. But I know Tom McCullough's here, so thank you, Tom. We're very pleased with the design of the amenity space here that you're in. With the units, we can do a tour afterwards. And I'd like to thank Eric Colbert of Colbert & Associates for a great job. Where's Eric? There he is, right there. Sorry. I mentioned the financing. We worked very closely with DC Housing Financing Agency. I know that Derek Ford is here. Derek, where are you? There he is. Thank you. And Tony Waddell is here as well. Tony, thank you very much, right here. So. And from the private sector side, we're not done yet on the financing. Believe me, there's a lot of different pockets of money that had to go in here to make this project work. I know Tony Washington is here from Oak Grove Capital. Thank you, Tony. And obviously, we worked. Our main construction lender on the project was Bank of America. And is anyone here from Bank of America? I know that this original ceremony was scheduled for Monday, but that 9 inches of snow sort of got in the way. All gone now. That's right. The sunshine had nothing to do with that. Yes, I know. I was able to get to work very early that day. I was no problem. So anyway, I have a couple other things to say. Has Yvette Alexander made it here? Well, Yvette is your council member here in Ward 7. We worked very closely with her on this project, and she did a really nice job coordinating our efforts and our outreach to the community. We incorporated some design changes and other format changes to reach out to the community. We have now 20,000 square feet of retail space, as I mentioned. We are targeting a sit-down restaurant and a couple other fast casual restaurants in the building. We know that is something that is sorely needed in the area. So we thank Yvette as well. So let's give Yvette a round of applause, even though she's not here. And then I always do this. I always forget to thank the people that work at my own company. And someone reminded me of that one time. But he no longer works at the company. But anyway. Let's see. I've got Ryan Mason's here. He worked on the financing. Ryan, thank you very much. And then really done a fantastic job on many of our projects, coordinating all the technical efforts, all the finishes, everything down to the last detail that you see. Brian Rogers, I know Brian's here. I would thank him. We'll thank Andy Jennings as well. Andy is also a professional engineer, works for our company. Steve Harrison, who works on all of our management and is responsible for getting all these units leased up very, very quickly. Steve, no pressure, no pressure. My brother Ted, who works on the construction side, he's about to do his unit walks of the 376 units. So Ted, you're about to get very busy, sorry. And then John Groth is here, who does a lot of our marketing and has done a good job. So all the logos, websites, everything you see. So and then, of course, we have Edgewood Management that is going to be managing and leasing, also approving all the applicants. Gene Ford is here, and Gene, we want to thank you and your whole team. This is the first project we've worked with Gene, but we really look forward to not only this project but a relationship as we go forward. So thank you. And I see more people from my company. So Jason Sadlak, Mike Ryan, Terry Cullen. There's others. I just want to thank everyone. And without further ado, let me please introduce, it's my pleasure to introduce, I meant to say, Mayor Gray. Once again, it's been a pleasure working on this project. I know this is your home ward. I know you've been a big fan of this project. You know a lot about it. It's been a joy really working with your staff and very smooth working with your staff. And so we look forward to not only this project, but other projects to come. So please, everyone, join me in welcoming Mayor Gray.
Thank you very much, Chris. It is a delight to be here. And we've had, by the way, just so you know, we've had 26 snow events since November 1st, 26. And, yep, we got the snow up every time, y'all. and those of you who remember yesterday, wasn't it raining yesterday? That didn't help. We got up with the the plows and all that stuff. Anyway, I want to thank Chris for being a great partner in this endeavor. I want to thank Scotty also, who runs Blue Sky. They've been, I guess this is not the first joint venture you all have been involved in, and everything I know about what you've done has been very, very successful. So I want to thank you all for doing that. You know, there was a point when I said, will there be the same amenities involved in this, project as in other projects across the city? And they said, absolutely yes. I want you to look at that swimming pool right out there. Just kidding, guys, just kidding. Anyway, I'm delighted to be here with Chris and with Scotty and with our Deputy Mayor, Victor Hoskins, who does such a great job. I've told this story many times about Victor and I met to talk about him coming to work with us. That was 40, how many months ago, 37? 37 months ago. And what a phenomenal job. He knows all the data in terms of, I think this is 67 or 68 projects that we've gotten underway or finished since we started. And really, it's helping to remake the District of Columbia. And one of the things I did say in all sincerity is that we were going to make sure that the east end of this city had an opportunity to develop, so we weren't 6 wards and 2 wards, that we really were 8 wards. And for those who don't know, who don't understand what I mean when I say one city, it isn't that everybody gets along with one another. That's totally unrealistic. What it means is that irrespective of where you live, geography should not define your future, that you should have the same opportunities as everybody else. And this is a shining example, in my opinion, of a commitment, the realization of a commitment to be able to make that happen. In addition to Victor and the work that he's done, I want to thank Councilmember Alexander, who is getting an award. I think I'm supposed to present it. So Ed, if she comes home with no award, it's because I'm still here, okay? She's at another place, and I'm going to go there when we finish. I want to thank Keith Sellers also, who has helped us at the International Shopping Center Convention be able to market the retail. For those of you who haven't been to the Shopping Center Convention, it is quite an extravaganza. With 40,000 people who come. It is extraordinary. And frankly, it has been wonderful to be able to represent our great city in that process. And Keith, with the Washington, D.C. Economic Partnership, I want to thank you for being a great partner in helping us do that. And increasingly, we come home with great leads that lead to great deals also. And Deborah, I want to thank you for being here. You know, the Deanwood Heights Main Streets, which is kind of the renaming, I guess, of, had a previous name. But I thank you for your leadership in helping us bring together the people who need to be involved in these efforts. As you heard from Chris, it's 376 units here, right? 346 of which are affordable at the 60% level, which means that the people coming here will be able to not feel like they're going to face the rental of an apartment that will be $2,500 or $3,000 or $5,000 a month. We recognize the importance of that. That's why we're putting so much into affordable housing in the District of Columbia. Many of you have heard me say that I've put $187 million into affordable housing. And at the State of the District address just last week, we made a commitment to another $100 million. I don't think there's any city in America, any state even as well, that can say it has, within the last 18 months, invested $287 million in affordable housing. And what that is doing, ladies and gentlemen, is buying down the price of housing. Just simply put, it is said we're going to invest in the construction of a project, and as a result of our investment, we want the rent to be lower, or the cost of it to be lower to the people who will live there. We've lost, I don't know, over the last decade, we've lost 40,000 people from the District of Columbia. And while I certainly don't know all the reasons for it, many of those people couldn't afford to live in the District of Columbia anymore. It's great to see our city developing the way it is, but I don't think we want to wake up one day and only those who have incomes of $150,000 a year will be able to live in the District of Columbia. I know I won't feel good about it, and I'm sure there are lots of people in this room who won't feel good about it either. That's why a project like this is so important, because, was it 92% of the units will be ones that will be leased to people who might otherwise not be able to live in a place like this. Man, I remember this corner. This was rough up in here. Carrie, when we started calling this Downtown Ward 7, I said, Downtown Ward 7? Yeah, that's a good name for it, right? But you know what? It is starting to evolve now, and the DOES building, which was a catalyst for bringing people to this part of the city. This building, which is yet another catalyst, you're going to see now, and people will start to use the term Downtown Ward 7 without thinking twice, because it will be a center for residents, and it will be a center for retail here. 5-10 years from now, people will want to move to this area because it is an area to be in. The other thing I want to mention is that we were supposed to, on Monday, and you have the program on your chair. Here, let me have one of those. If you notice, it says March 17th. that was the day it snowed, right? Was it March 17th it snowed? And y'all notice all the snow is gone, right? In all seriousness, this is an effort that we're starting, and Victor's going to talk in detail about it, that we're starting in order to be able to make sure that people who either are indigenous to this area or want to be in this area have a chance to have the tools available to them to be able to start a business or to be able to participate in those efforts. So that's why we're calling Started in 7. And this is Ward 7 Entrepreneurship Week. Did you ever think we would have Ward 7 Entrepreneurship? Well, we do now. And we're going to build on that as quickly as we possibly can. It's bringing a lot of resources to Ward 7, bringing residents, bringing investors, business owners, organizations, and people who are aspiring entrepreneurs. People, I won't say you all are not aspiring, you already are entrepreneurs, but people like Chris and Scotty who want to make an investment, in an area. We had a summit. We had a summit here, when was it, Victor, about a year ago? About a year ago. And then we had a follow-up to that. We had 250 people who came together last June for an economic development summit. And we listened very carefully. We heard what people wanted. And while I want you to understand that this is neither an oasis or an isolated situation here, because if you go to the south end of Ward 7, if you were there last week, you hopefully were part of the groundbreaking for Skyland Town Center, which is the longest undone project in the history of creation. 28 years it went with nothing happening. And everything is lined up now. We've got the developer in place. We've got the contractors are in place. We've got everybody who's been relocated except for one, CVS. I guess they're staying until the last minute, and they will probably have trailers on the site to be able to operate out of. But finally, a promise has been fulfilled to the people who live in that community. And frankly, it feels good because you can talk about these things all you want to, but people want to see the action. They want to see it happen, and it is happening down there. And you got this right in downtown Ward 7, and then go up on Nanny Helen Burrs Avenue. Right, Deborah? Yeah. Go up there and see. You know what? I'm not going to do what some people do and say, all right, Deborah, what did I just say? I'm not going to do that to you. Some of you may know her mom is Teresa Jones, who's known to so many people here in the city. In any event, up on Nanny Helen Burrs Avenue, we've got new housing there. We've got new streetscapes. The avenue itself has been redesigned. We have a new high school, H.D. Woodson High School. We're working on the park up there, the Marvin Gaye Park. We also just selected a developer, I think it's Penrose, that's been selected to build housing at 5201 Hayes Street, which used to be a trash transfer station. We just broke ground on a new 6th District Youth Investigation Headquarters in the old Merritt School. And you talk about projects long promised and never done, there is none that tops the Strand Theater. Honestly, the Strand Theater closed down in 1959. That is a long time ago. You talk about the last century, that's almost 2 centuries ago. And it's just been sitting there, dormant, festering, nothing done to it. And we're now putting $1 million into it to get it ready for its next use, which we expect to be a retail use. It had been in that condition so long that there was a tree growing through the roof of the place. And I suspect that tree was a mere seedling when it started. So in any event, I simply say that to say that Ward 7 is moving. Ward 8 is moving. This is an opportunity to make sure that the people who have a stake in the continued development of this area have an opportunity to participate. I don't want people to move from one complaint to another, because the complaint for years has been nothing happening over here. Well, we're past that point, okay? I don't want the next complaint to be, yeah, it's happening over here, but y'all shut us out. So there will be no shutting out of people who want to come to the table and be a part of it. You know, I was just on the sidewalk a couple of minutes ago, and I really heard some real enthusiasm. Not all of it was enthusiasm, but I heard some real enthusiasm from, you know, some of the local folk. But in everything that was said, there was hope that there's a solution. A gentleman who is homeless, had been incarcerated, and he's back. He's asking us for help. Another gentleman whose electricity was off, and he said he wanted to come in and apply for a unit here, Chris. And so we told him exactly where to be able to do that. But there's a sense of hope. There's a sense of optimism, and that when you get that, you have a real chance of being able to turn around some of the most challenging conditions. And that's what we have been able to do in the last several years, is create a new sense of a future, a new sense of hope, and that's what Started in 7 is about. So Victor, why don't you come on up and tell the folks more details about starting it in 7. You could go start it in 8, I suppose, too. But today, we're starting it in 7, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Mayor Gray. I have been at so many events with the mayor the last couple of weeks, but one of the things that you never see his enthusiasm wane. He loves this city, and he loves what he's doing, and we love doing it with him, and we salute you, Mayor. Thank you so much. That Strand Theater is funny. Come on, y'all. 1959. It's almost as old as me. So, yeah, they might. Some of them might have been, you know, might not have been talkies. Certainly black and white. So we're here to celebrate this public and private partnership. You know, Chris and and Scotty have done a tremendous job of working with us, really to help transform downtown. And this is just the beginning. The mayor said it. I couldn't say it better. One city, opportunity the same everywhere. Geography will not determine your opportunity, and that's what's so wonderful about what's going on in the city right now. I want to thank my team before I go any further for all their hard work. I want to thank Jeff Miller, our director of real estate, who's just been brilliant in this job. We broke ground at Southwest Waterfront yesterday. That is the 68th project that we've broken ground on. It's roughly about $6.3 billion in total development that we either broke ground on or cut ribbons on in the last 37 months. And guys, I have to tell you, there is no city in the country that can boast that. So you need to salute yourself for that. And Jeff Miller's been helped, quite ably by a person who is very quiet and tremendously hardworking, Matt Troy. Mayor has met him on many occasions, many groundbreakings, the biggest deals in the city. He is so consistent and so dedicated. I just want to really recognize him for his hard work. As I mentioned, there's a community feel to this location for a lot of reasons, but one of the reasons is that our planning department, us, Department of Employment Services, and others have worked together to help work with the community to make sure that, we respond to the city council, that we respond to the ANCs, that we respond to the things that people are asking for. And I would like to recognize Rosalind Huey for actually putting together this Starting in 7 with her team. So thank you so much, Rosalind. Now, some of the groups that are working on this Starting in 7, we have our Department of Small and Local Business Development, headed up by Rob Summers. I don't know if Rob is here. We have Tom Lupolero and the Department of Employment Services. They will be providing employment opportunities for folks through workshops. We have Michael Kelly, Department of Housing and Community Development, that will be talking about grants. We have Lionel Thomas, who's from the DC Arts and Humanities Commission, who also will be talking to groups about arts projects and grant funding. Adrian Todman is also involved. Maria Day Marshall from the DC Housing Finance Agency. And by the way, DC Housing Finance Agency played a tremendous role in this project. And I want to recognize the chair of the board back there, Derek, and also Allison Ladd. and the other representatives of the Housing Finance Agency that do such a great job. My friend right here. So a bunch of folks here who really work tirelessly and quietly to make sure that these projects get done. Chester McPherson and his team are working on some finance workshops for folks. Brian Hanlon from the Department of General Services. Guys, you guys need to know Brian Hanlon is one of the biggest champions in this city. Brian Hanlon is, listen, I called him this morning. I don't even know how early it was. He picked up the phone before the second ring. And he said, Victor, what can I do for you? And there's something urgently that needs to be done. Before I hung up the phone, he said, I will send people. We will take care of it. Let the mayor know it's done. I mean, and he gets it done. The Strand Theater is happening because of him. I don't know if you guys have been to St. Elizabeth's Pavilion, that beautiful pavilion. Him and his team helped get that thing done in, I think it was 3.5 months. That has to be a record for government construction. So let's recognize Brian Hanlon for his incredible effort and motivation. We have other people like Terry Bellamy from DDOT, who has just done a stellar job in terms of making sure that our projects, get built and go through. And I do want to mention Keith Sellers again for his tremendous contribution. I know he's going to be speaking later on. But Keith and his team, and I mentioned it this morning, when I came here, the Washington, D.C. Economic Partnership worked with the city somewhat, okay? Now we work together as a team. We are hand in glove. They can execute on things, I'm sorry, that government cannot execute on. Like, I wouldn't want government to deliver my FedEx package, okay? Okay, so they're like FedEx, all right? They can do the overnight. You're not going to get that from us. It's going to take maybe, well, with mayor, it might take maybe overnight with the mayor. 2 nights with the mayor. But the bottom line is that we need partners like him. We need partners like the Main Street programs. We need partnerships with the ANCs. We need you guys to do the things that we can't do. And as a matter of fact, somebody asked me the other day, so why did you pick that developer? That developer's not going to do what I want. I said, well, you know what? The ANC weighed in, and it's what they want. Now, you want to change it? Then get on the ANC, get the majority of votes, and we'll be doing what you say. I said, but right now, they weigh in, and we take their weight. They have great weight. We have to listen to them. And it really is a voice that kind of sometimes, people don't appreciate, and I've had to develop a taste for it. And frankly, now I look forward to it, and I do appreciate it deeply. I want to end by saying that I have never had a greater job in my life. I've never had more fun at work. I've never been more tired at work. But I have to say that every morning I get up, I thank the Lord for the opportunity to serve the citizens of the District of Columbia. So I want to thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Victor and Mr. Mayor. The good thing about getting up twice is I can say things I forgot to say the first time. So how many people here know Larry Clark, who works at Donatelli Development? Nobody. That's good, because he works behind the scenes. But Larry's the one in our company that reviews and chooses and seeks out the next project that we're going to build at our company. That's not my job. I wouldn't be very good at that, but that's what Larry does. And I remember the first time he took me up to Columbia Heights, I looked around and I said, really, here? And I get that same feeling sometimes when we go to new projects, but Larry is very capable of identifying projects and locations that will work. And, each project we do as a company, we're more proud each time, one after the other. And we're very proud of this project, and we're very proud of what I think will be a great impact to this neighborhood. So I want to say thank you to Larry for doing a great job over the years. And, on another note, and to introduce our next speaker, it's one thing to have a great business partner, but it's another thing to have a great business partner who's also a great friend. And so that's what our relationship has been with Scotty and with Blue Sky, with George Mavrikis and Scott Whittier. Scotty and George and Scott have done a number of projects in this ward and in the city. And I know that they care very much about the city. I know they care very much about the residents of the city. They've done a great job with working with us and with working with the community and reaching out. And it's just been a great partnership and a great friendship. And I know we're going to do more projects together. So everyone, please help me in welcoming Scotty Irving.
I want to thank everybody for coming out today. This is a really tremendous and a monumental day for Blue Sky Development and Blue Sky Construction on this project. Not sure if y'all familiar that this is our 7th project, affordable project in this ward over the last 10 years. And I don't know if George and Whit remember when we first did Benning Road project. That was eye-awakening to those guys because when everybody was building condos, we came over to this ward and built affordable condos. And the market was really hot, but we kept them affordable units. And believe me, there was some heated conversations in our office about we need to raise the price. And I'm saying we ain't going to raise the price because the people need the condos. So I'm quite sure that we lost some profit on that. And I want to commend my partners for, just believing in the vision of the company and creating affordable projects in this city. So thank you guys for, I also want to say that it has been a lot of changes. We had 2 mayors on this project. We had 2 chairs of the city council on this project. We have had 4 members of chairs of economic development on this project. So this project has not been easy, but we have had one constant on this project, and that's the Councilwoman Yvette Alexander for the duration of this project. So I want to commend her for that. I also want to thank, 2 guys that wouldn't never be in this room because they don't come to things like this, and that's Neil Albert for his time at Economic Development, and Alan Liu, who's the city administrator now. Alan wouldn't stand in front of anybody or go anywhere and do anything, but he has a vision, his own way of believing in small businesses and how to develop small businesses. And if you meet him, that wouldn't be the first thing you think of with Alan Liu. It would be a lot of other things, as the mayor knows, with Alan, because he's a tough guy, really is. Oh, absolutely. So, with that said, I really want to thank everybody for coming out. I really want to thank my partners. Tom McCullen is standing right there, and a lot of guys don't know Tom. We hired 40-something, close to 40-something individuals on this job, that residents of Washington, D.C. And 4 or 5 of those individuals, Tom taken with him on other projects that don't have anything to do with government and private partnerships. They are straight private development. And when you talk to those guys, they would start off as laborers, and Tom are escalating and growing their capacity to be assistant superintendents on his company. And that's hard when you find a small CBE firm like Tom that believe in growing the capacities of individuals. So Tom, I truly thank you for that. And in the vein of how we travel at Blue Sky, Tom believed in some Ward 7 companies. The largest contracts over here was awarded to Ward 7 companies. The sheetrock that you see, the painting that you see, it was a company that we know that could not meet that capacity. But Tom has fought with them, carried them through, and lifted them up so they could meet this schedule. So Tom, you have to be commended for that, and I really thank you, for that endurance. And I need to thank Andre, who's the superintendent over here, James Jones, who's the assistant PM on this job, and Seamus, who's in the back right here, who's the PM on this job, and Adam, who drives long miles every day to make sure that this job and this project gets built. So, and in the room, guys, there's a guy sitting in the back. He never sits in the front, and that's Tyrone Johnson. That's my cousin. I would not be the man that I am today, and I say this all the time, without Tyrone Johnson. I remember coming over to this ward when Dr. King got killed as a little kid. My brother and I came over here just to see the city, different parts of the city on fire, and the buses stopped running, and we had to run all the way back to Northwest because the National Guard was telling you had to be off the street at a certain hour. And I remember that, and I remember I also live on Northwest, and I'm seeing 14th Street being built, and I'm seeing units at $10,000 a month, and units at $4,800 a month. and no units at $800 a month or $1,300 for a 2-bedroom. And that's why this is so significant. This, if we praise Dr. King, we have to live in his vision and really every day act it out in his vision. And when we lose sight of that, we're going to lose sight of our communities. And that's exactly what's happening because we continue to fall down on Dr. King's vision in his dreams. And we need to keep moving in that vein. And Edie Washington, thank you very much. Thank you for all the hard work you put in at the ANC, because as Larry Clark could tell you, the first ANC was, yeah, it was like boxing Mike Tyson in his prime. Yeah. So Larry Clark, you know, who went to all the ANC meetings, we're finally here, Larry, and I think we did over 100 ANC meetings for this project over the years. So thank you all.
And we're going to close with Keith Sellers, talk a little about the retail. Keith Sellers. He's the president of the Washington, D.C. Economic Partnership.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I'm happy to be here to celebrate the launch of the Started in Ward 7 Entrepreneur Week, the ribbon cutting of Park 7, and with all of you all. I would like to thank Mayor Gray and the Deputy Mayor. I've spent a significant amount of time with them over the past 3 years at the ICSC conference in Las Vegas, and I can't say enough about how well prepared they are. Even without the briefing notes, their knowledge of the city, about the projects, it's been a joy to work alongside with you all over the past 3 years. And I'd also like to acknowledge Rosalind. She's been phenomenal with the Office of Planning in her current role as well as the past roles. It's just been great working along with you. And as well as Chris Donatelli in this project, as well as the ones in Columbia Heights and the other parts of the city. This morning we had a tour, a strategic site planning tour of Ward 7. I can say 10 years ago when I started working with the partnership and we had tours, I think it was my very first one, we did a dry run of Ward 7, and I was really just kind of bummed out because it didn't look like what it looks like today. And fortunately, it snowed the night before, so everything was clean and pure and all, and it worked out. But today, there's no snow on the ground, and the city looks completely different. The ward looks completely different. We had over 55 people RSVP for this morning's tour. The amount of enthusiasm that we've received about this project, as well as other parts of Ward 7, has been phenomenal. I actually believe there's a lot of hope, and people will actually start locating in the spaces as they're built in Ward 7. And so I just wanted to share that part with you. In addition to that, I wanted to just tag on that the announcements about various retailers there. We've talked to other retailers, whether it's 7-Eleven, Subway, sit-down restaurants, and they're just really excited about being here in Ward 7, and potentially some of them will locate here today. So with that, thank you.
I know I said Keith was the last speaker, but we're going to invite Deborah Jones up for a few words. Deborah, please join us.
Now I'm paying close attention. Okay. I just wanted to say that we are the Ward 7 Business Partnership, formerly the Deanwood Heights Main Streets. We've been the Main Streets in Deanwood Heights for 5 years. We're a nonprofit that just turned 5 years old, which is a milestone for a lot of small nonprofits these days. But we work with the small businessmen, and we work with entrepreneurs and startups and pre-startups. We want to welcome the Park 7 construction project, and we look forward to working with you as a magnet for other small businesses that want to come to Ward 7. You all have been mentioning national chains. We hope that some small businesses are also going to be in this property, and we look forward to working with you. And we want to talk to you about who you're vetting for this area. I have 2 actual businesses that have survived Shark Tank-like activities and are interested in locating in Ward 7. So we need to have a conversation about what kind of space you're going to have available. Do what? No more. No. We'll talk offline about that. You talk to Carrie about it. Okay. So we're expanding our boundaries out of Deanwood Heights, which will include which is Greater Ward 7. So this is a good opportunity as we expand, and we're looking forward to working with more small businesses. And so thank you and welcome to Ward 7. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and Mr. Hoskins, and Mr. Donatelli. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. So now we are going to proceed to the front of the building where we will have the ribbon cutting. All right.